This is why you're always tired. It's not what you think. Do you ever wake up after 8 full hours of sleep and still feel completely exhausted? Do you ever have days where you haven't really done anything? No hard work, no exercise, no stress, and yet by the afternoon you feel completely drained? Do you ever look at certain people in your life, people who sleep less than you, who are busier than you, and wonder how on earth they always seem to have so much energy? If any of that sounds familiar, I want you to listen closely. Because the reason you are always tired has almost nothing to do with your sleep. And it has almost nothing to do with your diet. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is by sharing with you two stories. This is Alex. Alex is a 31-year-old man who, by every logical measure, should not be tired. He goes to bed at 10:30 every night. He wakes up at 7. He exercises 3 times a week. He takes his vitamins. He limits his alcohol. He does everything the health articles tell him to do. And yet, every single morning when Alex opens his eyes, the first thing he feels is a heaviness. Not a sleepy kind of heaviness. More like the feeling of carrying something very heavy. Even before the day has started. Alex works at a financial consulting firm. The job pays well. It's stable. His parents are proud of him. But if you asked Alex if he enjoyed the work, he would pause for a second too long before answering. The honest answer is no. He has never really enjoyed it. He took the job at 24 because it was the sensible thing to do. And somehow, 7 years passed. He has a group of friends he sees on weekends. They're good people. But if he's being honest with himself, most of their conversations go around in the same circles. The same complaints about work, the same weekends, the same jokes. Alex feels a vague sense of loneliness even when he's sitting right in the middle of them. He's been in a relationship for 3 years with a woman named Claire. He cares about her. But somewhere over the last year, they stopped really talking. The deep kind of talking. And now, most evenings, they just exist in the same apartment. He has noticed this. He just hasn't said anything about it. Every night before bed, Alex picks up his phone and scrolls. He doesn't really enjoy it. He doesn't even decide to do it. His hand just reaches for the phone. Alex has been telling himself he needs more sleep for 2 years now. He keeps adding more sleep. He keeps feeling just as tired. Animation direction show Alex's daily routine visually. The alarm, the gym, the office, the couch. Everything looks fine from the outside. The animation should feel grey and muted. Build empathies. Viewer recognizes themselves in Alex. This is Marcus. Marcus is 33. He sleeps 6.5 hours a night, sometimes less. He drinks coffee, more than he probably should. He skips the gym more than he'd like to admit. And yet, the people around Marcus always remark on the same thing. He seems alive, not in a loud, performative way, but there is something present about him, something switched on. About 4 years ago, Marcus was in a very similar place to Alex. Same low hum of tiredness, same feeling of going through the motions. But one evening, after a particularly hollow day at his office job, Marcus came home and sat down at the kitchen table and asked himself a question he had been quietly avoiding for years. He wrote it on a piece of paper. What is actually draining me? And he sat with that question for a long time. Not his phone, not the TV, just the question. What he wrote down surprised him. It wasn't the long hours. It wasn't the early mornings. What was draining him were things he had never thought to look at. It was the job. Not because it was hard, but because he did not believe in it. Every single day he went to work on something he did not care about. And that misalignment, that gap between what he was doing and what he actually valued, that gap was costing him an enormous amount of energy. Energy he never got back. The second thing he wrote down was a relationship, not a romantic one, a friendship. A friend he had kept for years out of loyalty, even though almost every conversation left him feeling worse about himself. He had been carrying this for so long, he had stopped noticing how heavy it was. And the third thing was all the small decisions, the hundreds of tiny meaningless choices he was making every day. What to eat, what to watch, what to reply.